last outpost. 800 words. The moon hung silent in the blackness of space, its surface jagged and cold, scattered with craters from centuries of neglect. The last human outpost clung stubbornly to its barren rock, a tiny beacon of hope in a galaxy that had long forgotten them. Commander Lyra stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the starfield, every sensor blip making her heart beat faster. She had heard the rumors of the Terran battleship, the Titan, a ship of legend that could turn the tide of war. But she had never seen it, and most of the fleet she commanded had given up hope. The air inside the control room was tense, every crew member moving with precise, nervous motions. They all knew that the alien fleet approaching was massive, a force that had hunted humanity into exile for generations. A warning siren cut through the low hum of the station, red lights flashing across the walls. The aliens were here, massive ships, black and jagged, bristling with weapons, moving like a swarm of deadly insects. Communications crackled with panic from the outer sensors. "Command, they are too many, we can't hold them," one officer shouted. Lyra's jaw tightened. She knew surrender was not an option, not after all humanity had endured. She gripped the railing, looking out through the reinforced viewport, seeing dozens of alien dreadnoughts closing in. Each ship seemed to carry the weight of centuries of hatred for humans. The crew shifted uneasily, whispers of fear spreading like wildfire. Then, something strange appeared on the sensors. A small blip, moving too fast, too precise to be a normal human vessel. "What is that?" one of the junior officers asked, eyes wide. Lyra leaned over the console, adjusting the sensors, trying to focus on the anomaly. It was then that the myth became reality. The Terran battleship, the Titan, decloaked in the darkness of space, massive and gleaming, engines glowing with energy beyond anything humans had ever built. The alien ship stopped in unison, sensors straining, scanning this new threat. The silence was deafening, the tension almost unbearable. Lyra could hardly believe her eyes. She had studied every record of the Titan, every story from the old logs, and here it was, not a legend, not a dream, but a living, breathing warship. The bridge crew held their breath as the Titan's main guns powered up, bright blue energy streaks illuminating the void. The aliens panicked, messages sent between their ships full of confusion and fear. "Impossible," one alien commander hissed. "Humans should not have this power." The Titan moved with grace, sliding into formation with the outpost as if it had always been there. Lyra felt a surge of hope, something humanity had not felt in generations. She sent an emergency transmission to the surrounding human colonies. "The Titan has arrived, hold your positions. Help is here." The message was short, simple, but it carried the weight of centuries. The crew of the outpost felt their courage returning, hands steadying on controls, hearts beating with renewed purpose. The alien fleet hesitated, unsure how to respond to the sudden shift. The Titan's presence alone caused ripples of confusion, small ships pulling back, larger ones firing scans that revealed nothing. The human outpost waited, every eye on the massive warship, sensing that this was the moment everything could change. Then, without warning, a massive energy blast shot from the Titan, striking the nearest alien dreadnought. The explosion tore the ship apart, fire and debris scattering into the void. The crew gasped, some gripping their stations in disbelief. Others cheered quietly, hope blossoming in their hearts. Lyra's hands shook slightly as she activated the comms again. "We are not alone. Humanity will fight, and we will survive." The aliens regrouped, trying to form a line, but fear was already taking hold. Their sensors reported anomalies, systems failing, and crews panicking at the sight of the Titan's unmatched power. For the first time in centuries, humanity was no longer the hunted, but a force to be reckoned with. Lyra turned to her officers, eyes blazing. "Prepare the defenses. Ready every weapon. We will not falter. The Titan is here to lead us back, and we will make the galaxy remember humanity." Outside, the stars seemed to burn brighter, reflecting the hope igniting in the hearts of humans. The last outpost, once a lonely speck of despair, now stood at the dawn of a new era, and in the distance, the alien fleet waited, unaware that the battle for humanity's return had only just begun. The Titan's engines glowed brighter, ready for the first strike, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The arrival of the Titan. The Titan moved slowly through the darkness of space, massive and silent, yet radiating power that made every human on the outpost feel small. The alien fleet could barely comprehend it, their sensors flickering with confusion as if reality itself had shifted. Commander Lyra's heart pounded, awe mixing with fear. The crew on the bridge watched, some whispering prayers, others staring. In disbelief, a ship they had only heard of in stories now stood before them, real and alive. The Titan's hull shimmered with energy, strange blue lines tracing its surface like veins of light. Its engines glowed brighter than any star nearby, leaving trails in space that made it seem alive. The aliens hesitated, unsure whether to attack or flee, their communication networks filled with static and panic. "This cannot be human technology," an alien officer hissed, shaking with disbelief. "It defies all our calculations." Admiral Kellen appeared on the Titan's main bridge, calm and imposing, his uniform spotless, his eyes sharp. He scanned the battlefield and made a single hand gesture, and the Titan's weapon systems powered up, blue energy charging in massive cannons that could destroy an entire fleet. Lyra's fingers tightened around the railing as she realized that this one ship could change everything, not just the battle, but humanity's entire future in the galaxy. The alien dreadnoughts flanked the outpost, moving in patterns they had mastered over centuries of hunting humans. But the Titan moved differently, weaving between asteroids and debris, dodging fire with impossible precision. Each movement seemed deliberate, elegant yet deadly. The humans on the outpost began whispering, "Is it really possible to fight like this?" Some trembling, some cheering quietly, hope rising like a spark in the dark. Then, without warning, a beam of energy erupted from the Titan's main gun, striking an alien cruiser at the edge of the fleet. The impact tore through the ship, sending fragments spinning in every direction. The alien crew could not believe it, systems failing, shields collapsing, and their captain screaming orders that came too late. The humans on the outpost gasped, some leaning forward as if they could see the explosion from their windows. Others smiled nervously, hope blossoming amidst fear. Lyra turned to her communications officer. "Send the coordinates to every human colony in range. Let them know the Titan is here." The officer obeyed, fingers flying across the console, transmissions hopping from relay to relay, warning humans that salvation had arrived. The outpost's crew felt their courage returning, hearts steadying, hands gripping their controls with newfound purpose. They were no longer alone. Not truly. Not with the Titan watching over them. The alien fleet tried to regroup, massive cruisers moving to shield the smaller ships. But the Titan was already inside their formation, dodging attacks with impossible speed, each strike precise, each maneuver deadly. The aliens were confused, terrified, and slowly realizing that the humans they had hunted for centuries were not the weak prey they had imagined. The tide of fear began to turn, not in favor of the humans yet, but away from the aliens. Admiral Kellen's voice came over the outposts, comms calm and confident. "Prepare your weapons, hold your positions, and do not engage until I give the order. Humanity stands today because we fight as one. Stand with us." Lyra felt a shiver run down her spine, pride swelling in her chest. These were words that carried the weight of centuries, hope that had long been lost now rekindled. The Titan fired again, this time striking a cluster of alien fighters attempting to flank the outpost. The explosion was bright, blinding even through the reinforced viewports. Debris scattered like a meteor shower, each piece a reminder of the power humans had awakened. Lyra glanced at her crew, eyes wide with awe. "This is only the beginning," she whispered, and no one doubted her. Meanwhile, in the alien command network, chaos erupted, warnings and alarms flashing everywhere. "The humans have weapons. Beyond reckoning, they cannot be defeated by conventional means," one officer shouted. But their leaders were paralyzed with fear, unable to give clear orders. The Titan continued to move, a silent predator among the stars, teaching the aliens, a lesson they would never forget. As the energy from the Titan's guns cut through the void, Lyra felt something she had not felt in decades. Certainty. Humans were not weak, humans were not finished, and for the first time since the exile began, she believed that humanity could return to its rightful place in the galaxy. The outpost was no longer a last, lonely point in the void. It was a beacon, a spark that could ignite the entire human race. And beyond the horizon, the alien fleet watched, trembling, unaware that the war had already shifted, that the arrival of one legendary battleship had already changed the future of the galaxy forever. The Titan's engines glowed, ready for the next move, and humans held their breath, knowing that the first strike was only the beginning. The first strike. The void was silent except for the hum of the outpost systems, the blackness broken only by the distant glint of alien ships. The Titan glowed like a star in the darkness, massive and unstoppable. Commander Lyra could hardly take her eyes off it. She felt the tension in the room tighten as alien scouts moved closer, small but fast, probing the defenses, ready to report back for the fleet. "They are testing us," Lyra said quietly, eyes scanning every sensor, every flicker of energy. Suddenly, the Titan's main guns flared, sending streaks of blue light across the void. One alien frigate exploded, shards scattering like falling stars. The crew gasped, some instinctively ducking, others cheering quietly, hope surging in their veins. The aliens scrambled, trying to shield their remaining ships, but the Titan moved like a predator, weaving between them, precise and deadly. Its engines left trails of energy that shimmered in the darkness, each movement a message that humans were no longer prey. Lyra watched the alien formation tighten, but it was too late. The Titan fired again, this time at a cluster of dreadnoughts. The blast tore through shields like paper, energy surging across the hulls, systems failing, lights flickering, alarms screaming. The aliens fought back, beams of red and green slicing the void. But their weapons could not keep pace, not with the speed and firepower of the Titan. The outpost shook as small explosions erupted nearby, debris hitting the hull, but no one panicked. This was the first battle in a war they had waited centuries to fight. The humans were ready, hearts steady, hands firm on their controls. Each crew member felt a surge of pride, seeing their first strike against the fleet that had hunted them for generations. Lyra's communications officer spoke, voice tense but excited. "Commander, the Titan is moving to flank their main fleet. They are already confused, systems scrambled, sensors failing." Lyra nodded. "Tell the colonies to hold positions. We will lead the attack. Humanity's return begins now." Across the network, small human outposts picked up the signal, hands gripping controls, eyes wide, hope spreading like wildfire. The alien fleet tried to reorganize, massive cruisers forming a line, ready to crush the outpost. But the Titan moved through them like water, slipping between gaps, each strike precise, each movement deadly. Its energy cannons roared again, targeting the engines of the largest dreadnoughts, sending them spinning out of control. The aliens panicked, messages filled with confusion, fear, disbelief. "How can humans have such power?" one commander whispered, voice shaking. Inside the outpost, Lyra's crew could feel the shift. The aliens were no longer invincible. The first strike had broken their aura of terror. Humans dared to dream, to fight. The Titan's power was overwhelming, but it moved with purpose, teaching humanity how to strike, how to survive. The bridge crew watched every movement, learning, inspired, hearts beating in unison. Then, a massive explosion erupted near the outer rim of the alien formation. A dreadnought torn in half by the Titan's cannon, debris scattering like meteors. The alien ships faltered, some moving back, some firing blindly, chaos spreading like fire through the fleet. Lyra felt her fingers tighten on the railing, a smile forming despite the danger. This was the moment humanity had waited for, the moment their exile began to end. The Titan did not stop, sliding through the alien lines, each shot precise, each movement a lesson in strategy. The smaller ships tried to flank it, but the Titan anticipated them, spinning its guns in impossible arcs, beams cutting through fighters with deadly accuracy. The humans on the outpost watched, hearts racing, realizing that the legends of the Titan had been true, more than true. It was a weapon, a shield, and a symbol all in one. Lyra's eyes met, the communications officer nodding. Send the fleet coordinates to the nearby colonies. Tell them to join the fight. Humanity will rise as one. Messages went out, small signals bouncing across the void, calling humans to stand and fight. The first strike had shown them the way. The Titan's shadow loomed over the battlefield, a promise of power and hope. The alien fleet recoiled, trying to retreat, but confusion reigned, their fear spreading faster than their orders. In the control room, the crew of the outpost held their breath as the Titan fired once more, a blast that tore a massive hole through the central dreadnought, sending it tumbling into the void. Systems failing, weapons offline. The aliens realized they had underestimated humanity, the species they had driven into exile for centuries. Lyra felt a surge of determination. Knowing this was only the beginning, that one strike had already shifted the balance, and the Titan would not stop until the galaxy remembered humans. And in the distance, the void glowed with the light of destruction and hope. Humans watched, hearts filled with courage, understanding that their time of exile was ending, and the first strike of humanity's return had begun. The Titan moved, unsilent and unstoppable, its engines glowing brighter than ever, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The turning tide. The alien fleet faltered, confusion spreading like wildfire. Massive cruisers collided in the void, their weapons firing blindly, energy beams missing their marks. Their communication networks were jammed by the Titan's electronic pulse, every plan collapsing before it could begin. Commander Lyra watched the chaos unfold from the outpost, heart pounding, yet steady. She could feel the shift in the galaxy. The fear she had felt for centuries, replaced with a surge of hope. The Titan moved with deadly grace, weaving through the shattered alien formation, each strike precise, each maneuver teaching the humans how to fight, how to survive. Smaller ships joined from hidden colonies, guided by the Titan's signals, swarming the alien flank. Humanity had learned to fight as one, and the first strike had given them courage. An alien dreadnought roared as it tried to rally the fleet, massive guns firing, tearing holes in empty space. But the Titan anticipated each move, energy beams slicing through its shields, engines failing, sending it spinning into the void. Lyra's crew gasped at the destruction, hearts pounding, the thrill of survival mixing with awe. The alien officers panicked, their perfect formation crumbling, fear replacing strategy. From the outpost, human pilots took off, small fighters and corvettes moving in perfect formation. Each vessel guided by the Titan's signals, their weapons synchronized, every shot deliberate. The aliens were unprepared, struggling to understand, unable to respond effectively. Their sensors flickered with errors, ships colliding, systems overheating, desperation spreading. They fight as one, an alien commander whispered, voice trembling. Impossible coordination. They are stronger than we imagined. The Titan fired again, a beam that tore a massive hole in the largest cruiser, sending debris tumbling into space. Smaller ships were hit too, but humans had learned to dodge, weaving between explosions, moving like water, unpredictable, agile, deadly. Lyra watched, her hands gripping the railing, knowing this was a turning point. Humanity had survived centuries of exile, and now they fought back with the fury of generations. In the alien fleet, confusion reigned. Some ships tried to retreat, only to be cut off by the Titan, moving faster than the eye could track. Its blue energy cannons carved paths of destruction through the void, one strike after another. The humans on the outpost watched in silence, hearts pounding, pride swelling. This was humanity's moment, their return. The tide had turned, and the galaxy would remember them. The Titan's engines glowed brighter, illuminating the darkness. Shadows of alien ships twisted in the void. It moved with purpose, striking weak points, disrupting coordination. Every human on the outpost felt the hope growing. The alien fleet scrambled, sending messages in panic, orders ignored or misunderstood, fear dominating every decision. Lyra turned to her communications officer. Send all fleets forward. Humanity will fight together. No more hiding. The officer nodded, hands flying across the console, relaying instructions to hidden colonies. Then the Titan unleashed a massive pulse, electromagnetic waves spreading through the alien formation, shields failing, engines stuttering, ships tumbling out of position. The aliens screamed orders, but no one obeyed. Chaos reigning. The humans seized the moment, fighters swooping in, energy beams slicing through the remaining cruisers. The first strike had broken the alien confidence. The second move shattered their formation. And now humanity pressed forward. Unstoppable, Lyra felt a surge of pride as the Titan led the charge, guiding human ships with precise signals, teaching them how to fight, how to survive. The alien dreadnoughts tried to regroup, forming a desperate shield around their remaining ships. But the humans were ready, every shot calculated, every maneuver perfect. The void echoed with explosions, debris tumbling, the smell of ozone filling the sensors. A new age of warfare had begun, one the aliens could not anticipate. From the outpost, the human crew watched the battle unfold like a nightmare and a dream at the same time, fear and hope mingling in their veins. Each strike by the Titan was a lesson, each human move a proof that they could fight as one. Centuries of exile had ended not with surrender but with power, strategy, and courage. The alien fleet reeled, panic dominating. "This cannot be," one officer whispered, hands trembling, as the humans pressed forward, guided by the Titan. And in the darkness of space, the tide of the battle had changed forever. Humanity's exile was ending. The galaxy would never forget the moment when one warship had returned to teach fear to the conquerors. The Titan glowed like a beacon, the humans moving with newfound courage, and the aliens realizing too late that humanity had finally returned, and the battle had only just begun. The heart of the fleet, the Titan moved through the void with unmatched precision, weaving between debris, alien wrecks tumbling like fallen towers. Commander Lyra gripped the railing, eyes fixed on the main alien command ship, massive and looming, the heart of the fleet. It pulsed with energy, shields flickering as smaller human ships darted around it, striking weak points, every movement calculated, yet unpredictable. Coordinates locked on the command vessel. The communications officer whispered, voice tense, excitement barely contained. "They are vulnerable. Shields down 40%, engines damaged." Lyra nodded, feeling the weight of centuries on her shoulders. Humanity's exile had ended, but now the real fight began. She turned to the bridge crew. "This is our chance. Follow the Titan, move as one, strike together." The alien command ship roared, massive energy cannons spinning, trying to repel the intruders, smaller ships swarming to defend it. But the humans moved like water, unpredictable, relentless. A wave of corvettes and fighters darted past debris, dodging blasts, their energy weapons striking shields, weakening them further. The Titan led the charge, every shot precise, every maneuver deadly. Lyra's heart raced as the alien ship unleashed a massive beam, a flash that could have torn apart the outpost, but the Titan moved instantly, slipping between debris and energy streams, its hull glowing, energy beams firing back, the command vessel trembling under the force. The smaller human ships followed, synchronized perfectly, striking exposed engines, shield generators, and weapon ports. Chaos spread through the alien fleet, confusion replacing orders. From the command deck of the alien ship, officers shouted, panic evident in every movement. "They are everywhere, shields failing, they have learned our tactics, retreat!" But it was too late. The Titan had already penetrated the outer defenses, its main cannons tearing into the hull, metal and energy screaming in the void. Lyra watched, feeling the moment centuries in the making. Humanity was finally reclaiming its place. The human outpost sensors displayed the destruction in vivid detail. Massive explosions ripping through the alien ship, systems failing one by one, engines sputtering, weapons offline. The alien crew scrambled, some abandoning stations, others attempting emergency maneuvers, but the humans pressed forward. The first strike had started the fight. The second had turned the tide. Now the third would break the heart of the fleet. Lyra's hands flew across the console, directing human ships with precision, guiding them to the weak points. Every fighter, every corvette, every crew member on the outpost moved as one, energy beams piercing the alien shields, hulls tearing, alarms screaming, panic spreading like wildfire. The Titan fired again, a massive blast that ripped through the core of the command vessel, engines exploding, debris scattering like meteors. The alien officers realized their end was near, voices shaking, orders ignored, systems failing. "How is this possible?" one cried. "Humans. They should be weak." They were exiled, powerless. Lyra smiled grimly, watching the chaos, knowing humanity's strength had always been in courage, unity, and strategy, not just raw power. The Titan circled the command ship, each strike deliberate, each maneuver teaching humans how to fight, survive, and win. Smaller ships swarmed the crippled command vessel, boarding pods launching, humans moving fast, efficient, silent killers. The alien crew tried to fight back, but they were overwhelmed. No one could respond to the precision and coordination. Each blast, each strike, each maneuver a lesson, a message to the galaxy. Humanity had returned and they would not be conquered. Lyra felt a surge of pride as the command ship finally ruptured, massive explosions tearing the heart of the alien fleet apart. Ships spun into the void, systems destroyed, communication networks in ruins. The remaining alien vessels fled in panic, engines burning, shields failing, fear dominating every action. They had underestimated humans for centuries, and now they paid the price. From the outpost, human crews cheered quietly, hearts racing, knowing they had witnessed history. The Titan glowed in the darkness, engines bright, its presence alone enough to intimidate the survivors. Lyra turned to her crew, voice steady but proud. "The heart is ours. Humanity fights as one. The fleet will follow. We are no longer in exile." Messages were sent across colonies, fleets joining, small lights moving like fireflies, each human ship ready to strike. The alien fleet was broken, retreating, chaos ruling their ranks. But humanity did not relent. They moved with precision, strength and courage guided by the Titan, every strike a statement. Every maneuver a proof that humans were no longer weak. The void glowed with energy blasts, explosions, and hope. Centuries of exile ended with this battle, humanity reclaiming its place, and the heart of the enemy fleet destroyed. And in the center of the wreckage, the Titan floated, silent, glowing, unstoppable, a symbol of humanity's return, and a warning to the galaxy that the species that had once been exiled had come back, united, stronger than ever. The heart of the fleet was gone, and the galaxy would never forget the day humanity rose from exile, led by one warship that changed everything. The final push. The surviving alien ships fled in chaos, engines screaming, shields flickering, debris from their shattered command vessel trailing like deadly sparks. Commander Lyra gripped the railing of the outpost, eyes narrowed, her heart pounding. "We can't let them escape," she said, voice low but firm. "The galaxy remembers cowards." The Titan moved ahead, cutting through the void with unmatched precision. Energy cannons blazing, every strike hitting critical points. Smaller human ships followed, weaving through debris, coordinated perfectly. Alien cruisers tried to regroup, forming a scattered line, but confusion dominated, no order held. Panic ruled their fleet. "Engage all squadrons," Lyra commanded, hands flying across the console, signals pulsing to distant colonies. "Target. Engines first. Disable their escape. Leave no path open." Human pilots surged forward like a storm unleashed, energy beams slicing through alien shields, smaller corvettes darting around massive cruisers, striking weak points, every human ship moving as if it was part of one body. The aliens fired back, massive plasma blasts and laser arrays cutting through space, but humans anticipated, dodging, weaving, striking, their agility unmatched. The Titan led with deadly grace, its cannons lighting up the darkness, engines glowing like molten fire, every shot precise, every maneuver teaching the fleet how to fight, how to survive, how to win. The alien fleet was unprepared for such coordination, their panic growing with every passing moment. Lyra's crew watched in awe as entire cruisers faltered under human assault, engines failing, shields collapsing, chaos spreading from ship to ship. The first strike had broken them. The command vessel had shattered their hearts, and now the humans pressed the advantage without hesitation. Every human fighter moved like lightning, hitting exposed weapons, shields, and propulsion units. The aliens struggled to respond, every attempt failing. From the outpost, sensors tracked the destruction, blips disappearing as cruisers tumbled into the void, debris spinning in slow arcs. The alien fleet tried to regroup, sending messages in panic. But human hacking units disrupted their communication, messages delayed, distorted, and ignored. Fear ruled every corner of the alien minds, no strategy left, only survival. Lyra felt the surge of history in her chest. Humanity was no longer hiding, no longer weak. Each strike from the Titan, each coordinated assault by human fleets, a lesson to the galaxy. They had been exiled, underestimated, mocked. But now, every alien vessel that fled would remember the cost. Humanity had returned stronger than ever, united, unstoppable. The Titan fired a massive pulse, electromagnetic waves rippling through the remaining alien ships, engines sputtering, shields failing, systems shutting down one by one. The human fleet surged forward, fighters swarming, corvettes striking, energy beams tearing through hulls, debris scattering like meteors. Alien officers screamed orders, but no one obeyed. Panic ruling, fear replacing strategy. Small alien frigates tried to escape the trap, but human squadrons anticipated, flanking them, cutting off escape. One by one, the alien ships fell, engines exploding, shields collapsing, weapons offline, chaos complete. From the outpost, human crews cheered quietly, hearts racing, knowing they had witnessed the final turning point. Centuries of exile ending not with surrender, but with fire, courage, and unity. Lyra watched the Titan lead the charge. Every strike precise, every maneuver a lesson, every human vessel moving in perfect sync. No hesitation, no fear, just determination. The alien fleet disintegrated under the relentless human assault, scattered ships fleeing into uncharted space, hopeless, defeated. The void glowed with energy blasts, explosions, and the triumphant pulse of humanity reclaiming its place. One massive cruiser, the last of the alien fleet, tried a desperate retreat, engines screaming, weapons firing blindly, but the Titan intercepted, its cannons blazing, a single strike hitting the core, massive explosion tearing it apart, debris scattering, lights flickering out. The remaining aliens watched, frozen in disbelief. Their morale shattered, hope extinguished. Humanity had won, the battle complete. Lyra breathed, relief and pride mingling. Centuries of exile had ended in one decisive moment. The galaxy would remember the humans, not as the weak and exiled, but as the unstoppable force that had returned. The Titan glowed like a beacon, engines burning, standing tall among the stars, a symbol of unity, courage, and victory. From the outpost, Lyra turned to her crew, voice steady and proud. The final push is done. Humanity fights as one. No longer exiled, no longer afraid. The galaxy will know our name. And in the silence that followed, the remnants of the alien fleet scattered, the stars themselves seeming to witness the rise of humanity. Centuries of exile ended with courage, precision, and one warship that changed everything. A new dawn. The void was quiet now, only the remnants of the alien fleet drifting like broken stars. Commander Lyra stood on the Titan's bridge, her eyes scanning the vast emptiness, the hum of human ships filling the void with life and purpose. Humanity had won, but the weight of victory pressed on her shoulders. Centuries of exile ended. In these moments, yet the galaxy still watched, waiting, uncertain. Messages streamed in from distant human colonies, cheers echoing through communication lines, fleets reporting their triumphs, planets reclaiming freedom, the outposts alive with activity. Lyra allowed herself a small smile. Decades of strategy, training, and sacrifice had led to this. Humanity was no longer a shadow of its former self, no longer a whispered secret in galactic corridors. The Titan glowed in the darkness, engines steady, its massive hull a beacon of unity. Smaller ships swarming around it, forming patterns of order in the vast chaos of space. The surviving alien vessels fled, silent, their morale broken, intelligence networks crippled. the galaxy's rulers finally understanding that humans were no longer to be underestimated. Whispers of awe and fear spreading from system to system. Lyra turned to the bridge crew, pride shining in her eyes. We did it. The fleet is ours. Humanity's exile has ended, and we lead the way forward. Her words were met with quiet nods, faces tired but bright with achievement, each crew member knowing they had fought not just for themselves, but for every human soul scattered across the stars. Every strike, every maneuver, every sacrifice had mattered, every life contributing to the rise of a species that refused to be forgotten. From the observation deck, young pilots stared at the remnants of the alien command ship, smoke and debris drifting through the void, a symbol of human resolve. It's beautiful, one whispered, and terrifying. Another nodded. We survived and will never be exiled again. Humanity's story, once written in shadows, was now carved into the stars themselves, its legacy unbreakable. Lyra's communicator beeped, a report from the farthest colony. All systems secure, humans reclaiming planets, alien patrols retreating, morale high, colonies reporting unity and hope. Lyra allowed herself to relax, the galaxy watching, learning, and slowly understanding the truth. Humanity was unstoppable, not because of size or technology alone, but because of courage, unity, and relentless will. The Titan's engines pulsed softly, a steady rhythm across the bridge, a heartbeat for humanity itself. Lyra stood tall, hands gripping the railing, feeling the history in the making. We fought for centuries in exile, but now the galaxy remembers us, she said, voice calm, yet full of power. They remember our courage, our strategy, and our will to survive. Each human ship in formation seemed to echo her words, a visual chorus of strength, moving through the void, unstoppable. From distant star systems, transmissions began arriving, alien leaders trembling, others silent, some in disbelief, the galaxy's political balance shifting, whispers of treaties, alliances, and negotiations, spreading like wildfire, the name of Earth now carrying weight, respect, and fear. Humans were no longer hidden, no longer weak. Their presence was now undeniable, and their message clear. Exile was over. Humanity was back. Lyra turned back to the observation deck, seeing the human fleet stretching across the horizon. Light, reflecting off hulls, engines blazing like molten fire, the void alive with motion, energy, and purpose. Every ship, every crew member, every strike in the past battle had led to this moment. Humanity's place among the stars secured, but also a warning to any who dared challenge them. The Titan hovered at the center, its massive frame glowing, silent, almost divine in its presence. Lyra's voice carried across the bridge, soft but commanding. A new dawn is upon us. The Row. Galaxy will remember today, remember us, and humanity will never be exiled again. Outside, stars glittered. Alien worlds watched. And for the first time in centuries, humans looked forward without fear, only hope, unity, and strength. And as the first light of distant suns reflected across the Titan's hull, the human fleet moving in perfect formation, Lyra felt a surge of pride, of history, and of destiny. Humanity had risen from exile, from weakness, from the shadows of the galaxy, and now, standing together, one species, united and unbroken, they faced the future not as survivors but as rulers of their own fate. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's return, a species once scattered, underestimated, mocked, and feared, now shining brightly, a force of courage, intelligence, and unstoppable will. One warship had led them, one fleet had followed, centuries of exile ended, a new dawn rising, and the stars themselves seemed to bend in awe of humanity's return. The void was alive with light, hope, and power, and humanity finally had its place among the stars, eternal, unyielding, and victorious.